Inside this soundstage at the Pinewood Studios, the 19th James Bond film is in production. And we're about to go inside and take an exclusive look at what it takes to keep the 007 legacy alive. We'll start by meeting the man who, for the third time now, carries on the honored tradition, Pierce Brosnan.
I never miss.
Do you want to put that in English? For those of us who don't speak spy?
Your time is up.
The making of The World Is Not Enough.
Here we go. Shooting and turn over.
James Bond stands as one of the greatest action heroes in cinema history. And when Pierce Brosnan accepted the challenge of pushing the limits of the character to new heights, a whole new Bond emerged.
Adrian.
In the latest Bond adventure, Brosnan reprises his role as 007, and this time, he must race to defuse an international power struggle with the world's oil supply hanging in the balance. Directed by Michael Apted and produced by Michael Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, the film also stars Braveheart's Sophie Marceau, Robert Carlyle from The Full Monty, Desmond Llewellyn as the infamous Gadget Master Q, and American actress Denise Richards as Dr. Jones.
But what are they going to do with the other half? I have to get it back, or somebody's going to have my...
First things first.
The scope and scale of the production and story of The World Is Not Enough surpasses the limits of past 007 films with a vast array of exotic locations, death-defying chase sequences, and truly evil villains. To say the least, the 007 recipe for delivering a one-of-a-kind action-adventure film has worked its magic once again.
Can't you just say hello like a normal person?
I'm here with Pierce Brosnan, James Bond in The World Is Not Enough. So, it's another James Bond film. Has it changed for you over the past 3 films?
No, not really. They come around so frequently that it's like I feel like I've never left the shop. You know, the rest of life just falls away. The character hasn't really changed. I've changed somewhat. I've got more secure with the role, I'd like to think. And I've learned how to pace myself within these pictures. They're so big.
Certainly, I mean, it's a lot to live up to, and I imagine physically, mentally challenging. Is it still fun?
Yeah, it is still fun, actually. I was really excited about doing this one, and I'm having a great time on it with Michael Apted. And I like the script, I like the story. There's room to play in there. We have a good balance of character, plot, story, and action.
Before I came here, I decided to have a little Bond movie marathon, so I went to the video store. Bond has its own section at my video store, all the Bond films, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, you can't go thinking about icons and stuff like that. It's just what's the work, what is the character, what's on the page, what is the story, who is this man, and how do you make it real for yourself as an actor? That's the kind of tricky part, trying to make it, you know, so it's kind of believable and that you have the confidence to enter into it and perform it. So now, I mean, it's kind of continuing that on in this, the third installment. It feels good, I'm still enjoying it, and I think we've got a good one on our hands.
No brakes! The controls are jammed! Move down! Move down! Jump! Go on, jump!
For the spectacular opening sequence, director Michael Apted and his crew set out to create one of the most ambitious and challenging action scenes ever to be filmed. And they did it right here in London, on the River Thames. Shot over the course of a 6-week period, the opening sequence called for a high-speed aquatic chase between Bond and one of his many enemies. Specially designed jet boats were modified for the sequence to allow the boats to make hairpin turns, high-speed jumps, and to accomplish truly amazing stunts.
It's great. How often do you get to do this? You know, go down the River Thames in a kind of
one of these little Aussie outriggers, clapping along at 60 miles an hour. You know, just kind of stay focused on it. I don't want to smash myself up here. It could be a bit hairy.
Action, Pierce, action!
I'm here with Michael Apted, the director of The World Is Not Enough, and pressure's on.
Yeah, you bet.
So, a lot of audiences, myself included, have come to expect from a Bond film incredible stunts. How do you match what's been, or excel from what's been done in the past?
With great difficulty. I mean, it's hard to find new stuff, to not repeat what Bond's done before. This is the 19th Bond, so, and also to compete with the other great action films that are out there. So it's hard to think of fresh stuff, you know, but that's part of the challenge of this.
And in terms of even competing, I know when I see a film now, it seems like so many things are done with special effects, and it's amazing, in fact, how much what we see on a screen is not real.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the big attraction of the Bond films, you know, because they're always the real thing. You know, that's why they take so long to do and such elaborate settings as you see now. And you, I think, don't get the feeling it's all being constructed by some wizard on a computer. There's a sort of reality about Bond action, which I think we're very anxious to kind of hang on to.
Have you been a Bond film buff over the years?
I mean, I grew up with it, you know. I mean, my age, my generation, I mean, we grew up on all that, you know. None of us ever recovered from seeing Ursula Andress come out of the water, you know, so I'm part of that generation, so it's kind of weird to be part of it in this intimate way now.
As a fan and having grown up with it, does that sort of add a different kind of pressure to making?
No, there's enough pressure. I think there's enough pressure without any of that. The fact is that it's hugely successful. You know, you want to keep the success, you want to deliver what people want, and you want it to be that bit different, so it's fresh for the audience, and you feel that you can offer something and not just recycle, you know, an old Bond. So there's enough pressure, thanks a lot.
In The World Is Not Enough, Bond is assigned to protect Electra King, the daughter of a murdered millionaire oil tycoon, played by French actress Sophie Marceau.
Sophie is a wonderful French movie star, actress, someone easy to fall in love with. Very professional, very good, and for me, makes it easier.
Action!
You know, Bond, it's kind of a fantasy in a real world. And for an actor, it's fantastic because everything's possible. Because you can really go for it. You can really play. You can really act. You know, it's not like a realistic film, or it's a mixture of two worlds, and I think it's very rich.
Don't go.
You'll be safe here.
I don't want to be safe.
I'll be back soon.
And who's afraid now, Mr. Bond?
Here we go. Shooting.
Also appearing in The World Is Not Enough is Denise Richards as Dr. Jones, a nuclear weapons expert who approaches Bond with a weary eye.
And you are?
Mikhail Larkov, Russian Atomic Energy Department. Miss...
Dr. Jones. Jones. And don't make any jokes, I've heard them all.
I don't know any doctor jokes.
I'm here with Denise Richards, Dr. Jones, the new Bond girl in The World Is Not Enough. So, Jones, Dr. Jones is your name, your character's name in the film. Tell us a little bit about her.
All the Bond girls have fun, interesting names, and I love it. I love the name, and you know, there is something in there, but don't want to reveal it. But my character is a lot of fun. She's a nuclear weapons scientist who thinks that Bond is the villain and later realizes that he's the good guy and becomes his ally and helps him
she's very technically minded, but also very playful.
Yeah.
How do you sort of balance the two?
Working with Pierce helps a lot. I really like him. He's so sweet and charming and endearing and professional, and I think he and I have a lot of chemistry, so it carries over. But it's easy to play off of him and to just still keep the, scientific part of it.
Now, obviously, being a Bond girl it's a little piece of history, You're becoming a sort of a piece of history. Did you ever want to be a Bond girl when you were growing up? Did you follow the Bond movies?
I didn't watch the Bond movies when I was little, but I didn't realize the scale of the film until the day I got the movie, and it was all over the news, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a huge deal. So it's fun. I'm excited.
Stay calm.
Developing, designing, and deploying Bond's many gadgets is a full-time job for the artists and craftsmen who have to come up with the high-tech concepts revealed in each of the new 007 adventures.
I think this is why the Bond movies work, because it's tradition. You know what to expect. You sit down, curtain goes up, great stunts. Then you have Desmond Llewellyn, center stage, and all the gadgets.
I've always tried to teach you two things. First, never let them see you bleed.
And the second?
Always have an escape plan.
See you back at the lodge.
I am sitting here with Desmond Llewellyn, Q from The World Is Not Enough. So you are definitely the one to ask how the Bond films have changed over the years.
Well, I don't think they have changed all that amount. You see, they've still got, which is the main thing, is the fantasy. I mean, you must have fantasy in a Bond film.
Well, in terms of the gadgets and how they change over the years, because certainly, again, you are the one to ask, it seems like with technology, the way that technology in real life changes, they have to sort of be on their toes to change the gadgets from movie to movie.
Yes, but then you see all the gadgets on the whole, they are real things. They are, firms, write in and want to use the gadgets. And all the gadgets are sort of prototypes.
What is it that makes a Bond gadget truly a Bond gadget, and not just any old thing?
The Bond gadget on the whole, I think, has to help him save his life, really. I think that's one of the main things about the Bond gadgets.
Now, one of the things that everyone, including myself, looks forward to from film to film is what kind of car, and certainly this car.
BMW. It's a beautiful looking car, isn't it?
Sure is.
Lovely.
Can you tell me anything about it?
It's got lots of gadgets. It's going to thrill you, but you've got to see the film.
In the past, 007 has gone nose to nose with some of the most frightening antagonists ever to appear on the big screen. And no matter how many he defeats, there are always more lurking in their own evil lairs, just waiting to take him on. Robert Carlyle, best known for his performance in the hit The Full Monty, stars as Renard, the evil mastermind who plots to build his own nuclear arsenal and to do away with 007 once and for all.
I think it's an honour to take part in it. I mean, it's like in the nicest possible sense, it's like a museum piece. It's a piece of history. And this is number 19, and you look at all the great actors that have played the villains through the years, Robert Shaw, Christopher Walken, folk like that. It's an honour to be part of that.
If he had gotten the plutonium right in the reactor, we could have written off the whole city. James!
Welcome to my nuclear family.
You will die along with everyone in the city.
Don't make this personal.
I can't do that.
James!
His only goal is chaos. It appears that you have been beaten.
I thought it was your job to protect me.
I'm gonna find him.
Bond.
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 James Bond.